I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? It's just joking. It's Amir Yassai with AfterBuzz TV. We're here to talk about season 1, episode 11 for Below Deck Sailing Yacht. Nate, how are you feeling today? What's going on, Nate?
I am doing amazing, and I'm like have been itching to get back to talk about this episode, and I'm actually excited because this episode was absolutely amazing from start to finish. So much intensity, I guess I should say. So I'm excited.
Yay, so much is happening, and we finally got the breastfeeding moment we've been waiting for all season. So it's going to be really good, and we're going to jump right in. We have so much to talk about. So obviously, right off the top, we have Jenna and Adam in their fight, and then Jenna gets Georgia to cover for her. So there's a little kind of alliances being made. While Madison is running around the boat with like a chicken with her head cut off, just like super overworked and overwhelmed. I feel for my girl. And then we obviously have Parker on a tirade, running around the boat, acting like a little child. Obviously saying the whole breastfeeding moment that we love, we've been waiting for. And then obviously we had the the beach picnic, which was crazy. There were rocks being thrown. It was just a mess and a half. And then obviously we had our crazy guests, the Playboy bunnies, doing a naked photo shoot. And then that was crazy. I'm sure Nate enjoyed that with the starfish. There was a lot happening, right? And then we got some news and then predictions, and we're gonna just kind of jump into our overall thoughts. Nate, what were your thoughts about this episode?
Again, it was amazing. I don't want to say amazing. I say it's amazing every week, but I like the intensity from start to finish. I loved how they showed a lot of these beautiful guests that we have. I love how they really showed everything about this whole Parker situation. They fully let it out. So I find like they just focused on Parker. I want to defend Parker so bad. So Parker, I got your back. I'm gonna defend you, but I don't know if I can. So I'm excited, but it was a good episode. Oh no.
Yeah, we like Parker, but it's gonna be hard to defend some of the behavior. But you know what? You're on that small boat, and then the whole skid mark thing and the toilet and all that, like with Adam, it seems like everyone's pushing his buttons. So maybe let's talk about that as our first topic instead of Jenna and Adam. Let's talk about Parker because that's like on the tip of our tongue. So what about Parker do you think, where did he go wrong? Because some of the stuff he's right. Like Adam's pushing his buttons. Adam's like, make your bed, you're not using the toilet correctly. So I'm not really there for that, but I think that when he's fighting Paget in front of Jenna, I think that's when it went wrong. Nate, what do you think? Where do you think it went wrong with him?
This is where I defend Parker. And this is where I understand and I look up to Jenna and Paget and I talk about their leadership. And not really in a negative way on them, but like when Parker was there, he was just like, look, Paget, you told me to do this task. And I know sometimes I need to take upon myself to just figure things out and you can't just explain things step by step. But he was like trying to stop him before he left. Like, look at all these rocks. Like, you're telling me to rake these, but like that just doesn't make sense. And so Paget is viewing that as you're talking back and you're not just listening to what I'm saying. But like Parker's just like, no, like let's just stop for a second, look at this, let's figure out what's the best plan, and then I'll get to work. Because that's one thing that I'm really big on. Like intention. So like his intentions are he works hard. Like it's not like he's lazy. It's not like they have to push him to do things. It's like he works hard. So maybe explain things better. Maybe, okay, as a leader, how can I explain this or get to him better where things are more smoothly? Because the effort is there. And so that's why I defended him at the beginning of the episode. Absolutely. Later on, maybe I changed my mind.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of agree with you in that way because it seems like Parker, his intentions are really honest and he's really trying, but then he's also he's such a hard worker. But I think it's when he gets kind of, when he got kind of in a mood and then he was texting Katie, his ex-girlfriend, and she was like, you know what, don't be a Grinch, you have a big heart. It seems like he is able, I lost you for a second. He is able to kind of, in those moments, he can kind of get back on track. But it seems like once he gets in a negative headspace, you can't push him too much. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it seems like that's kind of the big issue is when people push him. And it seems like Ciara especially really pushes his buttons. So that's what I think that they need to kind of give him his space.
Go ahead, finish.
No, go ahead, please. No, I was done. Go ahead.
No, and that's why, like, earlier in the season when I started noticing that, like, I was like, I understand why he's kind of snapping back at them, because it's like they're giving it to him and he's snapping back. But no, now, like, you clearly see there's a emotional, I don't want to say emotional intelligence, but like he needs to understand the emotions and how to utilize them, how to suppress them, when to bring them out. Like, and sometimes some people don't know how. And maybe he's just at that tipping point where it's just like, dude, like everything you guys are telling me is wrong. Like he's telling me turn to the left, I am turning to the left. Like what more can I do? Like, you know, and so I understand him, but no, there's clearly an emotional thing where he just needs to like figure out how he's distributing his emotion. It's just, even when he's just sitting there with Glenn, it's just like, oh, like, bro, just act like you care for a second, and then when he's done, express your side, you know. So he's wrong at that from that perspective too.
No, it's well said. I think that like when you're speaking to the captain, you need to adjust yourself. Don't talk about shit and the toilet and, you know, and all that stuff in front of the captain, because, you know, I think Captain Glenn was kind of caught off guard. He was like, well, what do you want me to do about it? Like, then you should like go to Pageant about that. Or like, if you have a problem, like go to Adam, like be an adult, you know? And I think that the biggest problem, I like so Team Parker until he's doing this in the guest. And it seems like even when Pageant and CR are yelling at each other, when they see a guest, they stop. Parker just keeps going. And that's kind of okay. Like, are you guys good? That's when it kind of gets a little rocky. So hopefully he'll get it together. And maybe if Katie visits, she can kind of, you know, help him to get back on track. I really hope he doesn't get fired, because that looked a little contentious at the end. That would be really sad. I would be super, super bummed. So I would be very bummed about that. There are a lot of people that are very Parker stans in the live comments as well. So I just kind of wanted to quickly just thank you all for watching AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV. We're here through the quarantine, me and Nate, and usually Akila, but she's been busy. We kind of like to recap these episodes and get you guys through this and get some distraction in your lives. I know it's kind of hard. We would love you to like, subscribe. We have so many videos. We cover a bunch of shows, and it's amazing. Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. We would love, 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 love that. And then I kind of want to quickly give some shout outs to our fans from last week's episode. So we have, why is everyone complaining about Parker? The guests love him, which is very true. So that's someone that's kind of standing for Parker, which I love. It's ECPL, interesting. EFCPL is the username. We appreciate you. Yes, we also stand with Parker. We love him. He just has to kind of find his way again. And then we have Brandy J, who's saying Parker and Madison for sure. Jenna's making herself look crazy. Yes, she is. And then we also have Flygirl0264. That was creepy. Don't laugh. Stop laughing. Adam calling Jenna his significant other in all caps. Too funny. I was waiting for Jenna to have Madison clean the master cabin after they slept in it. Wow, Flygirl0264. That's savage to have someone clean the master cabin after you had sex in there. That's very intense. But we appreciate all your comments, and we want to hear from you guys every week, so please comment. Nate, let's get back to Jenna and Adam. So obviously in the beginning of the episode, there was a lot of contentious. Adam was kind of being like a jealous boyfriend. They've only slept together once. They are not going steady. So I didn't really understand why he got so upset. And then to top it off, Jenna then brought Georgia in and then had her corroborate the story and say they never hooked up, after we heard Jenna on the last episode say he had a really nice dick. So I'm like, girl, this is going to come out eventually. So what are you doing? So what do you think about all that? Do you think it was smart of Jenna to get Georgia involved? Do you think she should have just like confessed to it and then maybe apologized and moved on? Like, what do you think? What's the right move?
You have to be real with these things. Everything that happens in the dark comes to the light. If you're lying about these small miniature things this early, then it's going to come out later. Like, of course, just open up. And of course, we've all have learned that the hard way. And then you get to a point in life where you just understand, like, all right, let me just deal with this now instead of dealing with it later. So yes, she's wrong there. And even if you think of Adam, like, I'm really, really proud of Adam in the way that he handled the situation. Because again, you're right. Like, it is early. Like, maybe he doesn't have that right to even be that jealous or even be that frustrated with her for even acting in that way or saying those things. But I understood him. But then he also did come back and say, okay, look, I stepped it off. I thought about it. It really isn't that big of a deal. And you can see the turnaround where he's just like, you know, I'm really trying now. Like, I'm really am feeling my emotions. I'm going to let that go. He went back, he apologized, and he started showing her love again. So kudos to Adam.
Okay, Really? You don't feel like he was a little immature in the beginning, or do you
He
feel like it
was.
was
He
warranted?
was.
Okay.
He definitely was. He was immature in the beginning. But what I'm saying is I
Okay.
understand why. Like I can understand just a man just being like, kind of jealous about that. But I'm saying regardless, I am proud that he was like, all right, you know what? Not that big a deal. Got over it. Because some guys like they really will be mad. Like that could be the end of it, just that little thing.
True.
You know?
Absolutely. We've seen it on past seasons of Below Deck. Things get very heated very fast and things and relationships end. What do you think about Jenna bringing in Georgia though? Do you think that that puts Georgia in a bad position? So like, and she kind of made a funny joke about like, you make the boss happy, then you get to go swimming. Like, so I don't know. Do you think Georgia should have just said, I'm not doing that? Or what do you think?
Objectively, no. I know Georgia shouldn't have did that. But if I was in that situation, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I would have done in that situation. Me personally, though, I always like to stay out of situations. I'm one of those, like, if I see your girlfriend cheating on you, I ain't seen nothing. I don't know what's going on. I'm not a part of this. I'm out of everyone else's stuff. That's not my business. But in that dynamic where she is her boss and like she is trying to, in some cases, win her over or have favor from her, but maybe, I don't know, in that moment. So I understand, but no, Jenna, again, why? For what? Just be honest. Like, Jenna, why are you putting other people in your business and now she's in a bind,
If I ever did a reality show, Nate, I would write myself a note that I would look at every day saying, when you are mic'd, do not speak. Because the fact is you're mic'd and you're saying all this stuff and they're gonna use it. These producers might take you to lunch, but they are going to use that footage. So you have to be more cognizant of that. And I think that like that's very important as well. So we'll see what happens with the two of them. I don't know if it's going to end in wedded bliss. And I think Jenna is aware of that as well. She said, I know this isn't going to end, in a positive way. And she spoke about her dad and kind of tumultuous relationships. So I think the girl, Jenna, knows this is not going to end well. She's just having some fun. So I think it is what it is. Let's move on to the guests. Let's see what's going on with the guests. Like, obviously they seem like a pretty chill charter. Like, they haven't been very mean, they haven't been very demanding. They seem kind of great. Honestly, they're probably one of my favorite guests. And even the whole beach picnic drama, like, they seemed unfazed from that. Like, what were your opinions of the guests? Like, I know they look good, but what about like their attitudes?
No, I love them. I feel like the show. I feel like we saw the guests the most out of any other episode, but I feel like we didn't really see them like doing anything. Like they're eating for a second, then they're in their little party at the end for a second, then they're like on the beach for a second. Like we didn't really see them doing anything. But yes, they're beautiful. I love the little naked photo shoot, whatever there's going on over there.
Yes.
But they're cool guests. I like them. There was no drama. They looked good. They're peaceful. They're very respectful. Perfect group. This is a perfect group.
I'm not mad at them. I liked them. I was like, I want to go on vacation with these people. And usually the guests, I'm like, I want to stay away from these guests. But they seemed really lovely. And I don't know if quarantine's been long, but these women looked great, even to me. So it was great. It was great. It was really, really great.
And they feel like they had like a lot of money. Like they had a lot of money and they were respectful and they were just, I like it. Perfect group.
I was here for them. I was really here for them. So obviously, like even the way they handled the whole beach picnic drama. So do you think, in that whole situation, do you think like there was a lot of dynamics. Obviously, there was Paget and Parker yelling at each other over the rocks. And then at one point he started dancing and kind of imitating Paget. And then Jenna got involved. And then she was kind of adding fuel to the fire. In that situation, who is to blame? I think personally it's Paget, because he needs to be more direct with Parker and he knows how Parker flies off the handle, especially when Jenna gets involved. So I think it was Paget's job to kind of wrangle them together. Nate, where do you stand on that whole triangle of drama?
Yeah, I agree with you. Like I think it is Paget's ultimate fault to bring that all together. And even from the start, like he said, like he didn't really explain what was going on to Parker. Right. So Parker was just like, I'm about to be working for no reason. So So when they came back, it's like, what are you doing? But again, this is where Parker is wrong. This is where he messes up. When Jenna is asking him, like, yes, he's just like, what? Ask Paget. Paget is the one who's telling me to do this. Ask him what I'm doing. But he doesn't have to react that way. He could just be like, look, this is what he told me to do. This is what I've been doing. I don't know what else I'm supposed to be doing. Like, he could have handled that situation different. So that's where he goes wrong. But of course, it is Paget's fault. Jenna was just there in the crossfire. And then, of course, she's ready to bicker when it's time to bicker.
It's very true. She loves to kind of add fuel to the fire and then be like, I'm out. And kind of like clean her hands of it. So I think that like, and again, Parker kind of flies off the handle. Just before we move to some news and predictions, we definitely have to talk about the biggest scene of the whole season, the breastfeeding comment that has gone viral. It's on TikTok. I even did a TikTok pretending to be Parker. So when that scene happened, I definitely knew all the words. So in that scene, do you think that Paget instigated it, or do you think that Parker just kind of went off? Like, what do we think happened there?
I think for sure Paget instigated. For sure, he instigated a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
but I think that he just literally was at that burning point, and he's trying to explain himself, and he's trying to express himself. And this is one thing that I see from Parker is nobody is listening to him. Everyone's telling him so many different things, but no one is listening to his issue.
No one's listening.
Problem. Yeah, and so when he's talking to Byron, it's like it's not about the breast milk situation. That's not what's bothering me. It's just like you guys aren't listening. That they're talking so much crap about me. That's one of the million things, and you guys won't even think about that. And so when Paget comes up, he just again. Oh, I feel bad for Parker, man. I understand
Poor
Parker. I promise I do, man. I understand.
We're here for you, but that was a good scene. It was dramatic. And then when anyone ever says, even to me, I don't know if you've ever been in a fight and someone's like, is that funny? And you're like, I'm not laughing because you're upset. I'm just like, what's going on? Like,
it's funny. Just no matter what, it's funny.
Yeah. There's just a lot of humor in it. So it's great. It's really funny. We have some people in the live chat. So Tibhor Orbain is saying thumbs up, loving the show. And then Sasha Tarasa is saying Adam is acting like a child and being so unprofessional with Jenna. It made me cringe watching them all cuddle up for the tip meeting. Come on, is that necessary in front of everyone? Not a fan. All right, well,
I noticed that too,
your
girl.
opinion. Yeah,
I noticed that too. I don't know how I feel about it, but I noticed that too. But again, Sierra and Paget, they talked about the professionalism. We know that they ain't. Hey, but I ain't judging.
Yeah, I mean, listen, people have ways of being, expressing their PDA, and other people have different ways, and that's just how it is. So we just have to kind of be understanding. But I understand when you're in a small quarters, have you ever been to summer camp and there's that one couple that's always like making out, and you're just like, nobody wants to see that, like on a day in and day out. So I think that because this show is very much like being a camp counselor on a boat. Like it's very much that. Like people are gonna hook up, like you're still trying to get work done, but you're like still trying not to like be unprofessional. So I think there's gonna be a lot that's gonna happen. And just to make it clear, because when me and Nate were watching, the tip is not 20 grand. They got 20 grand as a whole tip. They each get 2,000. So we got confused. We were like, are they getting 18,000 each? And we were like, what? So just to make that very clear. But we do have some news. So let's jump right into that. So obviously we had this like past was it Monday? When was it? Wednesday? Whenever we had Paget and Ciara. That was such a great interview. And go watch it. It was so funny. And they're talking about being in lockdown. And it was really, really great. And then Georgia. Okay, so we have something about Miss Georgia. So Georgia shares that Paget made her laugh, and that's one of the reasons she got kind of attached to him. And we see in the next episode in the promo, they continue making each other laugh. And let's be honest, that's an aphrodisiac for most people. And she also admits that I try not to throw people under the bus. I try not to gossip, and I do try to maintain integrity. So in this interview she did for cheatsheet.com, she continues, she says, what did she say? Being that I felt that way, I actually back myself that much, and I shouldn't have a problem with going on a show when they document my every move. So she's kind of owning up to the flirting. She's owning up to being caught in those kind of uncomfortable situations, which I respect. And I really like her. She's very sweet. It's 07 Georgia Rose on Instagram and Twitter. She responds. She's super sweet, and we're here for it. So we forgive you, girl. Again, I think that when you're a camp counselor on Below Deck, you start flirting with people. You get bored. Like I don't blame them. I don't blame them. And I know where you stand with Georgia, Nate. You're a stan, right?
Oh, I love Georgia too.
Oh, good. That's great. Yeah, so that was that. And then there was another interview with realityt.com where let's see, what did I want to focus on? Oh, yes. So Jenna spoke about her relationship with Madison. So obviously there's been a lot of contention. Madison's kind of overworked. And when I messaged her, she's also posted a lot on Twitter saying that, like,
Yeah.
when you're overworked, you get frustrated. Like, you know, if you guys follow her, and Nate and I do as well, we see that she posts these things and she's kind of being frustrated by Jenna. So Jenna said, I really do feel like I tried with Madison and maybe it doesn't seem that way. But I was really frustrated with the fact that you can see in all of our interactions that anything I was telling her to do about the job, she rolled her eyes. She mocked my relationship with Adam, and she is really the only crew member that acts that way, which I don't think is true. Like, I think that Jenna, again, is incorrect. Madison is doing the best she can. She went to sleep at 1 a.m. instead of 4 a.m. She's really trying to kind of follow a lot of the rules. But Jenna purposely like ignites her and then is like, why are you acting like that? You know, it's like that person that says something mean to you and then is upset when you have a reaction. So Nate, where do you stand with all of this, Jenna?
Yeah, I think I'm so proud. I was so proud. I was like, they didn't show Madison that much this episode, but I was so proud of the way that she handled everything. I don't think that Jenna, with anything that the way that she handled it was wrong. But of course, Jenna is just Jenna, and no matter what, like the way that she's going to portray it, she's going to try to figure out to make it seem like she made it all right. And like, I don't know, everything that she does is always just like, it was them, and look at it from their perspective. It's like, look at what you're doing and the way that you're handling it. Of course, she's going to mock her relationship because you're my boss, you're swimming over there. And I was proud of the fact that, like, at the end, like, when she even gave her this little compliment, I didn't view that as a compliment. I think that she was like, oh, Madison knows that we were swimming over there, and she knows I didn't invite her, and she was working. And that was me, like, giving her this compliment really because she knew that they wasn't working and she was working, you know? And those are my things.
And
like,
she also,
again, like when it comes to Parker and Madison and like these work-related things, I understand Paget and I understand Jenna a lot, but it's just like sometimes you guys are doing some of the same things at times too. Like you guys have a lot of flaws, and when you're pointing your fingers so much at them at that, it's like it kind of doesn't make sense when you know that they are giving effort. Like that's the thing, that they are giving is effort. So I don't know.
Absolutely. No, it's well said, Nate. And I think that even the pointing too, like what do they say? If you're pointing a finger, 3 are pointing back at you. And I think that all of these people are to blame, except Captain Glenn. He can point the finger because, like I said in the first episode when we did it, God bless the studio. We did it in the studio before all this stuff went to shit. I had said, like, listen, Captain Glenn is the hierarchy. Like, he needs to be the one dishing it out. And he like kind of rose to that occasion and he really handled it. So I think it's great. And then Jenna also goes on in this interview to say that she never made fun of Jenna and Parker and she never made her feel bad about that. And I'm like, that's like not something to be proud of. Like that's a normal human thing. Like you shouldn't make fun of someone who's been rejected. Like I did. And she also still did. She was like, oh, you know, Madison likes you. Madison wrote you a note. Like she did egg it on. She made it seem creepy. Like she made it seem like Madison was obsessed with Parker and it wasn't that. Like she just thought he was cute.
Yeah.
So I was kind of annoyed about that. So the interview was a little annoying. But if you want to see the whole thing, it's on reality.com. Go check it out. And then also my girl Kate Chastain did live tweeting today with the episode. So she watched it and she's calling it Quarantine with Kate. And she's going to watch the episode every week and live tweet. And Ciara was on there with her. And so was, who else? I think Paget and Captain Glenn were also live tweeting. And it's Kate Chastain with all of her dogs. So maybe that's her new gig after leaving Below Deck. So maybe this is going to be her new gig, which is great. We're here for it. That's all the news we have for today. Nate, do you have any predictions?
I guess I look at this Parker situation. What do I predict? I don't really know. I think that they really don't want to take him off, but I think Parker, that's when he's going to come up with this whole, this is when I resign. But I don't think that Parker's going to be on the ship any longer. It's the time that he's done. But I just really think that they don't want to say, they don't want to say it. Like they don't want to kick him off. They don't want to say you're fired. So it's going to be Parker and him just losing his mind. But he's gone. He's done. My perception.
No, Nate. Do you think Katie has anything to do with that? Like, do you think he's gonna also leave to go be with Katie?
Oh, I didn't think about that. I keep forgetting about her. I keep forgetting that she's supposed to be coming. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know. I don't know
We'll
what's
have to
gonna
wait.
happen.
Woo!
Maybe, but maybe
That's a
though.
lot, Nate.
Because like
Wow,
when
that's a
she
lot.
comes, like
What do
is
you
she
think
coming
about?
on the boat? Like what is? I don't understand this.
Yeah, like, are they gonna get a hotel room or are they gonna just like be on the boat? I really, and I hope that like Madison's not triggered by that. So we'll have to wait and see. What do you think about Jenna and Adam? When do you think it's gonna just like finally boil over and just be a whole mess?
I think the next episode they're gonna be fine again, and then something else is gonna happen later on. The next episode they'll be fine. I think so.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I kind of piggyback off your. Yeah, unfortunately, I think Parker is going to be leaving. That's what I predict because they've been teasing this for a while. And he's already said his best line ever, that the breastfeeding comment. So what else is there to say? So that's a great way to exit. I love it. And I think that they're going to if Parker does end up leaving, I think they're going to bring back an old favorite. I don't know who, but I think that they're going to bring back someone from Below Deck because just to bump up the ratings, because I think the ratings have not been as good as Below Deck Med or Thailand because, you know, they don't have the audience yet. And those boats are so much bigger and the people on it are more famous. So maybe they'll bring someone back. I know Xiao just got engaged and it's been all over Bravo TV. So maybe Xiao will come back. And in our interview, Paget spoke about how he's very close to Xiao and they're best friends from Below Deck Med. So maybe he's coming back. I don't know. That could be great. And it seems like they work well together. And he likes to get drunk and he likes to get crazy because he has a whole alter ego called Jezebab. So we'll see when he gets drunk. So that could be a fun addition. We'll have to wait and see.
And we have to figure out this cocaine situation.
Yes, who brought the cocaine? I don't know.
We'll see.
This show is crazy. So all the stuff, the cocaine, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? The skid marks on the toilet. Parker, we're going to miss you if you leave. But that's all we have, Nate. Tell us where they can follow you.
All social media platforms at Royal Nate _. That's ROYAL. Nate _
I love that you got stuck on the AL part. Love that.
I always do.
It's all good. You can find me at Amir Yass _ AMIRYASS, like Yass Queen, on all social media and TikTok as well. Thanks for being here for Below Deck Sailing Yacht. Keep on watching, and we'll be back next week. Bye, lovelies. Mwah.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.